Hello, 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 hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, 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 welcome. Hope everyone's had a fantastic day today. Hope everyone's feeling very, very good. It is Friday. Ironically enough, it's Valentine's Day, and hope you have time and hope you have spent it with your loved ones and everything. Hope everyone's showed them their appreciation a bit more than they usually do and stuff like that. Of course. But yeah, it's still about Arsenal. It's all about Arsenal. Arsenal today, Arsenal tomorrow, Arsenal all day, every day, what it feels like. Of course, this weekend, Premier League kicks off again. To be honest, it's kicked off already. Brighton's not playing Chelsea. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, there will be a lot of things to discuss for today. My camera is doing a bit of a mess here, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, today there will be lots of things to discuss because Arsenal are back in Premier League, of course, and we are playing tomorrow. Early kickoff, mind you, which Arsenal tend to not do too good usually. And it's an away game. It's an away game at King Power Stadium against Leicester City. Due to Arsenal's injuries and everything, there will be lots to talk about, and I am scared. I am scared to say the least, I'm not gonna lie. But we're gonna get to that in all due time. Of course, Arteta's press conference, Cone Man music will be in place as it always is. And then, of course, predicted 11 and stuff like that. So if you're new around here, of course, smash a thumbs up, like the button, destroy it, caress it, smash it, kick it, whatever you do, just like the thing. Subscribe and hit that bell and leave your thoughts down in the live chat. Big up Nathan, my guy. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Zinchenko definitely playing false nine. He actually might. He has played there under Pep, of course. So we'll see how that goes. And big up Kwame as well. Big up Kwame, my guy. Hope you're doing great today as well. So what we're gonna do is kick things off, first things first, with some news, and then we're gonna get into press conference, and then we're gonna talk about the game and predicted starting 11, and that's more or less the plan for today, at least currently, before basically shit hits the fan and some weird discussion again pops off like it usually does. So what we're gonna kick things off with is Ben White. Ben White is in training, full-on training. Mikel Arteta has spoken in his press conference as well. We're gonna get to that, but he has fully confirmed that he is in training. It is about to happen, and he actually might be playing tomorrow. Whether he will be a starter, whether he will come off the bench, time only will tell. Obviously, time only will tell. I think Timber probably will start and Ben White will get some minutes, but we will see with all due time, of course. But good news is that Ben White is back. Timber doesn't have to play full 90 all the time. We probably won't see Thomas Partey as a right back anymore. Hopefully, at least, and that's good because Timber, just back from ACL, is playing full 90s or most of the time. That is obviously never good on the player, especially coming back just from an injury. So he will get some well-deserved rest because he's been arguably one of the best and most consistent players for Arsenal this season overall. Let's be real. Let's say it pound per pound as it is. One thing I don't want to see, of course, is Timber playing left back. That is one thing I don't want to see again. So we will see how that goes from there. Yeah, the only Benjamin I want in my club at my club. To be honest, I would love to see some Benjamins in the club to sign players and stuff like that as well. I'm not gonna lie, that is arguably the not only Benjamin I would like at the club. Sheshko wise, yeah, not the biggest fan. Let's just put it that way, at least for now. Calafiori is better than Zinchenko at left back. You could say that at striker, well, definitely, so we'll see how that goes. Calafiori has played striker as a youth, so let's not forget that. Although, remember when Havertz got injured, there were multiple reports coming out saying that Merino has been identified as a very potentially good number 9 replacement, so we'll see how that goes. That actually could be kind of nuts. That actually will be kind of nuts if that actually is the case. What change to the system will we make? And that, to be honest, is the big question. Because these injuries can go two ways, basically. It can ruin everything, ultimately. Or it can basically force Arteta's hand, make him make some tactical adjustments, some system adjustments, and it could maybe open a whole new dimension for the team. Maybe to some extent even Arteta didn't know we could have. And it could send the team into a completely different direction, which basically could be a shock to the team. It could be a shock to the league, and nobody could be prepared. It could go either way. Now, knowing Arteta's stubbornness, it could go very poorly. Let's be real. Let's say it as it is. But I would love for Arteta to change things up. Play 3 at the back, for example. We have the facilities to do that, and arguably this is the best time to do it because with our winger and attacking issues, to some extent, for us having the 3 center backs and playing, let's just say 3-5-2 or 3-4-3 or stuff like that. Actually, no, not 3-4-3, 3-4-1-2. Could actually be quite beneficial for the club. I'm not gonna lie, it could actually be quite beneficial. This is perfect to switch to front 2, and we did that against PSG, remember, with Havertz and Trossard, and it worked like a charm. So, could be the case, time will tell, and we will see, of course, tomorrow, very early actually, we'll see that as well, so let's just see. I fancy the chance of Calafiori up front. We need someone up front, and the big question is who it's gonna be. Because obviously there have been talks about Oyedeji, there have been talks about Trossard, maybe Ethan Vanieri even. Of course, Zinchenko has played there under Pep Guardiola. Calafiori has played there as a kid when he was just coming up as a player. And of course, there were rumors about Mikel Merino. So everything is genuinely quite interesting to see that to some extent we have options. It's weird. We don't have proper options per se. Like we have actually striker and everything, but we have some makeshift options. And obviously it could be a blessing in disguise or it could be a disaster in disguise. It could be obviously disaster waiting to happen, or it could actually give us some extra boost to some extent. And it could be actually kind of nuts because there are many players who basically sometimes out of nowhere excel out of positions. And it could be the case if Arteta actually has the balls, if he has the cojones and he can put them on the table and change the system and narrative and tactics, it actually could be quite interesting to see if that happens. Yeah, Kieran Tierney is a left wing back. Oh, let's just say it as it is. Kieran Tierney in a 5 at the back as a left wing back or as a left-sided center back, even though we have center back, so we might as well not need him as a left wing back. He would be phenomenal. That is the big question. That is the big thing. And why? Because yeah, he can play right center back. Timber can play right center back. Depends how you look at things. The thing is though, if we play this Timber, if you want to play Timber as a right center back, again that means that we force Timber, if you want White as a right center back, it forces Timber to play. And that is something I don't want to see. I much rather see him getting some rest as well. Because again, no matter how you look at things, at the moment, Timber needs a rest. Because he is arguably one of the prime candidates currently, given that he's ACL injury background recently and the amount of time he has played, that he could be subject to another injury very soon. And I think to some extent we need to play it differently, but also we need to play it smart and be safe than sorry, rather, in that regard. Timber will have to play till Martinelli gets back to play right. Dude, you are saying as if we're gonna play 3 at the back. Let's be real. As much as I would love to see Arsenal play 3 at the back, go back to the days to a formation that won us the FA Cup 5.5 years ago, at the same time, I'm not sure we will ever go to that back. As much as it pains me to say this, because our team is built to attack, and as weird as it sounds, our team is built in the signings we have made, at least, are quite fitting to 3 at the back formation. 3 at the back, 5 at the back, depends how you look at things, but they are very, very fitting and very, very good for those instances. Whether it's going to happen or not obviously remains to be seen to some extent. Yeah, Ben White is back. We needed that. We need some rotation in the team, especially defensively. We needed that. We definitely needed that. Some random news, some random talk in the media. Some random news for the media today, so we're going to look into that. We don't have the players for a front 3 anymore, and that is the case. We don't have for front 3 because based on this season's performances, none of them are good enough to be leading the line in a front 3. They can excel at certain aspects, but they are not the ones you can fully 100% depend upon, like you can, for example, on Saka, right? So maybe shifting to let's just say 3-5-2, right? 3-5-2, have 3 center backs, have 2 wing backs, then 3 midfielders, even if it's Rice, Partey, Odegaard, right? It doesn't matter. But you can shift to 2 strikers. One can be Trossard, one can be Wanyeri, one can be Trossard, one can be even what's its face, even Raheem Shillings. Let's be real. because, well, options are slim and needs must at the end of the day. And with overlapping runs, let's just say from Tierney as a left wing back, or Calafiori, whoever Arteta decides to play, or let's just say Ben White or Timber as a right wing back, it actually could work to a charm. It actually could work to a charm in that regard. The sad part is for me the fact that this manager, no matter how he looks at things, no matter what's going on, he's not changing stuff. It's always the same. It's the same style, the same system, the same passing patterns and everything. When you look at the pass and movements after the game, when you look at up-to-date, how we have distributed the ball across the pitch and everything, it's always the same. Predominantly, it's always the same. There is nothing out of the blue, nothing new, nothing unique in that regard. Because, for example, the Declan Rice's pass when we played City to Ranieri, for example, that across whole pitch, that was something, in my opinion, we don't do too often. We genuinely don't do that too often. And the one time we did it actually worked to a charm, and it took opponent's defense by surprise. And yeah, we need to do some unexpected things too, much more. But of course, Arteta, as we all know, is about playing it safe, playing it slow, predictable, in total control. And that pretty much in its own is totally negating and taking away the aspect of surprise, aspect of risk-taking and stuff like that. Because we never see those instances. There are many times during the game when we can give like thread-the-needle type of pass. Risk it for the biscuit, as if you will, the type of pass. And we always, pretty much 99% of the time, don't take it, and we just recycle the ball backwards. And sometimes taking that risk, as much as you risk losing the possession, right? It's sometimes better to do that risk because many times when we make these runs off defenders' shoulders, especially what Kai Havertz used to do, right? They don't read them. Many times they just don't read them. You can see that just make the pass, just in between the lines, and he's in one-on-one, make the pass. And they never do, even if they see the pass. And that is quite annoying in that regard. Yeah, a proper manager would change the system. He would adjust the system to fit the players that he has. But Arteta does the other way around. He adjusts players to fit the system. And that is something that basically, well, kills you at some point, ultimately. Both nines season over with injury. Both nines, they're... Well, we have Oyadeji, we have Kenyon Edwards, technically. Obviously, we sold Mika Bier, so that's not happening. Balogun, Chidobe, Martin both could have had a chance right now. Biereth could have had a chance right now, if we kept them. That is a big if, of course. My pick for match against Leicester: Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Maslow, Skelly, Partey, Rice, Odegaard. So Calafiori as a 9, fucking, that's, you know, I totally get that. I totally understand that you also need some substitutions of the bench to at least try and impact the attack of the team. Let's just say take off Trossard, put on Sterling and stuff like that. Maybe Kabia will come on, or Kieran Tierney comes on as a left wing, which he has done previously due to the lack of substitution options of the bench and everything. But just seeing Calafiori as a 9, it's hella confusing, it's hella weird, I'm not gonna lie. But I can see that. As weird as it sounds, for Arsenal this season, our center backs, our defenders in general, have been more clinical in front of the net than our attackers. So you cannot even take that away. And as we all know, if the plan A, which only Arteta has in his locker, doesn't work, we start to tend to crossing the ball consistently. 30 crosses, 46 crosses like it was against Inter Milan. And at that time, we actually need a proper big guy up top who can head the ball. So Calafiori in that regard fits it to a T. Gabriel in that regard fits it to a T. Because what good does it do to us if we had Havertz up as a number 9, we had Trossard and everyone, and then Havertz, who is 6'4", drifts wide to the right wing and crosses the ball to 5'8" Trossard. It makes zero sense to that regard. And given that it's Premier League, and the center backs pretty much enjoy defending these crosses to some extent, just like Italian defenses do, it's basically, unless you can put in a perfect cross like Tierney can do it, and you have a proper finisher when you get the cross through, it's basically useless in that regard, if that makes sense for you. Playing the marquee defensive signing as a false 9 is sackable. And to be honest, last year we did this, we signed Havertz, who was our midfielder, and then we played him as a number 9. We signed Thomas Partey to be a number 6, and we end up playing him as a right back. We have done this all over the team, multiple times. And that is the big issue. Because whenever injuries strike Arsenal, Arteta panics, instantly panics, because Partey all of a sudden goes right back, Timber all of a sudden goes left back, and everything. It's weird. It's like he doesn't have an answer. Do you think if Haaland is injured, Pep will play Guardiola there? No, he won't. Let's be real. He's most likely going to play Foden as a false nine. Bigger chance than anything, let's be real. He's going to play Foden as a false nine. In that Firmino type of role, free roaming number 9 between 10 and stuff like that. Or Savio or someone like, or Marmoush even at this stage. We're gonna talk about that at the end of the stream. Towards the end part of the stream. I already said that at the moment we're gonna look at some news, then we're gonna do Arteta's press conference, and then we're gonna talk about the game. I don't want to get ahead of myself, let's just put it that way. But yeah, this is a weird stat I saw today, that Arsenal have lost 4.3 expected points. There's a new metric for you. There's XG, there's XA, and everything. Now there's XP, expected points, right? And due to red cards this season, Arsenal have lost 4.3 expected points, which arguably those 4 points at the moment would put us in only in a striking distance if in between one win with Liverpool, by the way, which is very annoyingly ironic to some extent. But yeah, let's be real. Due to the red cards, I don't think it's that is the case. It's a very subjective metric in that regard, because whenever we had 10 men, we still had chances to win those games. We had 2 one-on-ones almost pretty much against Brighton when we were down to 10 men. When it was 1-1, we had a chance to win it. Havertz went one-on-one, hit it straight at Verbruggen. Havertz crossed the ball to Saka, he just couldn't reach it. So there was 2 chances to score there. Obviously, Roya made 1 world-class save against Yari, so he didn't score there. But ultimately, we had a chance to score. Against City as well, on counters at Etihad, we had a chance to score with 10 men. It's not like we've been basically utterly useless with 10 men. It's a metric that you can see, obviously you can use it, but it's a very subjective metric because you have to take into account instances, situations, and everything. So I guess it is what it is at the end of the day, but for me this metric comes a bit forced, if that makes sense in that regard, or a bit in mood. So it's a weird one. Let's just put it that way. Let me know what you think, but ultimately, yeah, it's a hell of a weird one. It is hell of a weird one in that regard, because again, as I said, it's very subjective to the situation, the subs, the players you have on the pitch, and what you actually create with 10 men. Because even though Arsenal tend to sit back with 10 men, we still don't do that too much. We still had chances to score. We had still chances to create. We did that to the maximum extent. So I guess in that regard, it is what it is. So we'll see. We genuinely will see. Give me a sec. I need to answer a message. So yeah, let's. Oh, for fuck's sake, I misclicked. So yeah, I guess it is what it is. Anyways, some other news in this regard. We are looking at another defender, another youth defender. Arsenal are interested in a Stoke City defender nonetheless. Jaden Dixon, 17 years old. Enough said, I guess. Enough said. Let's move on. No, Hatso. That just don't get there. And in the brighter side of things, arguably, give me a sec. Yeah, Arsenal apparently have opened discussions to extend Martinelli's contract on a new long-term deal. Although negotiations are in the early stages, there is a feeling among all the parties that agreement will be reached, which is very, very interesting, to be honest. Because Martinelli currently at Arsenal is on 170 or 190 grand a week. He got that contract basically based on the fact that he had a phenomenal season for his standards in recent times. From the 22-23 season, where he genuinely was a world beater. Let's be real, he was phenomenal that season. Since then, he has genuinely died. Not literally, but in performance-wise. So we'll see. But ultimately, yeah, that is the weird one. Where is Martinelli is on 180,000 a week, which is hell of a lot. And if that means he's getting a new contract, you can bet your sweet ass that he's gonna be in 200,000 mark above. And currently, based on our current situation, I don't see the reasoning why. I get that his contract runs out in 2.5 years, right? I get that. But it means that his salary is gonna get increased. He's gonna get 200 grand or so. And is he worth 200 grand a week? Does he deserve 200 grand a week based on his performances, especially in the last year and a half? No, he doesn't. He's still a one-trick pony. Nobody still has coached him to basically attack and run with his head held up high, because he basically does this all the time with his head into the ground. He doesn't have the technical ability many times. I know he's a confidence player. He used to take players on with dribbles, but he doesn't do that anymore. He gets injured at sometimes. He misses very many chances these days, although he recently has stepped up. I'm not gonna lie, the recent performances, he has stepped up. But for him to get over 200 grand, I don't think that's the best deal of business Arsenal can do, actually. Why they are doing this, it's a bit of a mystery to me personally. Because the more we put these type of players on these wages, the bigger chance we cannot sell them, first of all. And second of all, that means that we are not getting a replacement. Because let's just say we put Martinelli on 210 grand a week. Now, any player who we will sign to be our left wing, especially if it's a starting left wing, he will demand 300 grand a week, because Martinelli gets that, and we are signing that new left wing to replace Martinelli. And if Martinelli becomes a bench player over the time, 200 grand a week for a bench player is a sackable offense, in my opinion. That is genuinely not it. Let's just put it that way. Last time we had defender, dude, those days, that was something else. That was different. Benim Saudi. It seems we don't want to improve where it's needed than what it isn't. Exactly, that is the big thing. It doesn't look like we want to improve. We are looking at another striker, not strikers. We are looking at more defenders, at more midfielders. We are looking to extend, for example, Martinelli's contract, Trossard's contract. Obviously, Manieri and Skelly are gonna get new contracts. Let's be real, deservedly so. They both are on like 8-9 grand a week, and for the way they are playing in the role they're actually having right now, they deserve much more. Let's be real, about 50-60 grand easily a week. They definitely deserve that. Those are some of the players that actually deserve those wages based on their performances, especially this year and recently. Let's be real. But ultimately, Martinelli's new deal, it means a massive pay raise at the end of the day. And for him to get over 200 grand a week, that's not smart deal. That's not good for business, in my opinion. It's bad enough that we already have Kai Havertz on 285, Jesus on 260 or something like that. Saliba is on 190. He deserves that. Let's be real. Gabriel Magalhaes, by the way, is on about 100 or 90 grand a week. He gets 2 times less than Martinelli gets. Where does that make any sense? Gabriel Magalhaes gets 2 times less than Gabriel Martinelli. That is something different on that regard, if I'm not mistaken. Wait. Gabriel Magalhaes salary. Yeah, he signed a 5-year deal, 13 million, including an average annual salary of 2.6 million. Divide that by 12, he gets about 90 grand a week. Gabriel Magalhaes gets half what Martinelli gets. And for the performances, if you compare them, it's embarrassing. Let's be real. That is actually not good. The problem is when we need to sell him, we will be in 250 and we will end up leaving. That is the biggest issue here. Once we end up selling him, how are we gonna get rid of him? How? Because we couldn't sell Partey at the moment. We had to let him go for free, arguably, right? You could argue that point. Who's gonna buy Jesus on 260 a week? Who's gonna buy Havertz on 285 a week, right? Who's gonna buy those players? Zinchenko is on 150 a week. Not sure someone's gonna pay him that anymore. Although I can see maybe someone, but I don't think so. And Martinelli, again, at the moment is on 180 grand a week, which seems for him decently enough, but arguably based on the last year's performances, It seems overpaid as hell, I'm not gonna lie. However, if we look at the 22-23 season, it seems fair. Let's be real, right? But now that if we put him on a new deal, we sign Trossard on a new deal, it means we are not signing a new left wing. By the looks of things, at least. Because if we're gonna sign a new left wing right now, that ultimately means, at the end of the day, that the next player who comes in is gonna demand even bigger amount of money. And that again will ruin the whole salary situation. That is not good. That is genuinely not good. That is not good at all. So, I don't know what Arsenal are doing in that regard, but it feels weird. Mitoma scored, so 1-0 Brighton by the looks of things, right? Oh yeah, Odegaard, dude. Arsenal giving... Big up Isak. Arsenal is giving me pain. I can't understand why we didn't look for any signs. Dude, it's not like... Everyone saw the signs. Everyone. That is not at Arsenal, by the way. Everyone that is not at Arsenal, that is not involved and paid by Arsenal, saw the signs. I saw the signs and it opened my eyes and all that stuff. Everyone. I saw it, you saw it, most of Arsenal fans saw it. It's just weird that the Arsenal themselves didn't see these things. The signs were there already from last season. That things are gonna go very badly wrong if we don't do the right things. And they haven't changed. Even before that, they didn't change. Obviously, Cronkies are not helping the instance as well. To some extent, Arteta has made this mess as well. But ultimately, we just haven't done the necessary things that need to be done to basically improve on the situation. Let's be real. And now we are paying the ultimate price. We are paying the ultimate price. Oh boy, don't start the no. If it's Saliba Kivior again, I'm gonna genuinely just no, don't do Kivior again. Don't. Apparently Morata alone was in final stage. Apparently, yeah. Apparently Morata's deal with Arsenal, they were something agreed upon, but Galatasaray swooped in and stole the deal. Who, by the way, has scored already for Galatasaray. Although Galatasaray yesterday in Europa League got panned 3-0 by Alkmaar. That is not... I didn't see that coming. Although, maybe. Who knows? Maybe. Who knows? Anyways. Anyone want to hear what the co-man had to say about the game and everything? Co-man music back in full effect. What Arteta had to say about these things. We were having... On Kai's injury. We got... No... Pretty much in that regard, yeah. Apparently that was the case. Allegedly. Ben White is facing a challenge with urine. That's the good thing. That's the thing I want. Having competition for every position. There are no freebies in the team like Saka has. Like this Snotgard has. Or someone like that. Like even like Havertz has. There are no freebies in the team. There should not be any freebies in the team. Especially at a team like Arsenal. But some of the players have no backups. And they basically have no... They have freebies instantly. Marlon, I'm gonna say this once. Shut the hell up about Kivior versus Saliba. Because this is getting old and it's starting to get on my nerves. I'm not gonna lie. Agree to disagree to this. We like Saliba over Kivior. You prefer Kivior over Saliba. But it's enough. For a week, just every stream almost. Kivior versus Saliba all the time. I can't handle this anymore. Well, Marlon's had enough about something, I guess. Anyhow. Kai's injury. What has Mikel Arteta said on Kai's injury? We were having great camp in Dubai, recharging, training, having some time off and connecting again with nature. Oh, Mother Nature. Woohoo, haha. And in different environment, and then an injury happened in a very unexpected way. Certainly it's a big blow because of the injuries that we have had, unfortunately. We've been through a lot this season. We have played without Gabriel, without Saliba, Ben White all season. It isn't all season. It isn't all season, is it? I swear he has played like at least like 20-30% of the season. It isn't all season. He's missed. He basically went out on November 11th, so it means he played 3 months for Arsenal. Yet he says he wasn't there all season. Yo, Arteta is already lying, for fuck's sake. Like, that's not good. Tomiyasu all season, I get that. Calafiori for 2 months, he's been overall, yeah. Merino for 2 months, Martin Odegaard for 2 months, Saka for 3 months, and it's gonna be even more. Gabriel Jesus, all of them. Well, that's your fault, isn't it? Well, to some extent. With no backups, we shouldn't suffer as much. So that's it, the challenge is ahead. I love it and look forward because we are still where we are. All the things I mentioned on top of playing 4 times with 10 men, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what the team is made of. The less I speak on it, the better. The less I speak on that, the better. But already he's lying about the fact that Ben White wasn't there all season. He was there for 3 months, and for the next 3 months he's been injured. So it's basically half and half. Yes, he hasn't played the same amount of games, but it is what it is. There are rumors that Charles Sago Jr. and Kenyon Edwards will be called up to the team and they will be on the bench. But we all know how these things go with Mikel Arteta, let's be real. We all know how they go. On whether he enjoys trying to solve problems like this, yes, because I don't want to look, I understand. I don't want to look, I understand the narrative. If any team in this league lost 4 players in the front line like those, I know that the answer would be I don't even want to mention that. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. Let's be real. Don't even think about these injury crises and everything. So other teams have had defensive injury crises and they say nothing. Newcastle last year with the injuries, that was insane. Last year, what happened to Newcastle. Same goes for Liverpool last year. Last year, we were the team that didn't get injured almost whatsoever. This year, we are paying the ultimate price of getting injured consistently almost. So there is no chance of you basically getting out of you from this mess. On who might start up front tomorrow. Oh, you don't have to be very creative with the options that we have. I'm sure you're going to get it right. What? I'm sorry, but what the hell did you just say? Like, come on, man. On whether Ethan Wangieri could fulfill the role. I think it's more about when. I think it's in there as a possibility more than a necessity. Is the real quality. He's been playing as an attacking midfielder and on the right wing, and I think it's been really good in that position, so that's fine. So he's not gonna be striker now, but Arteta has said in interviews before that he is kind of envisions Wangieri becoming potentially a number 9. So it's again, it's the thing. I think it's more about when, not now, of course. The issue with that is we have Martinelli who could have played striker, but he doesn't want to explore that option apparently. On whether Raheem Sterling could shine with regular football, yes, and for the other players as well, and for Leo Trossard to probably play in 2 or 3 different positions. I'm sorry, but this pisses me off to some extent. See, Raheem Sterling could shine with regular football. I get that. You get maybe in games and you hit a run or stuff like that. But for Leo Trossard to probably play in 2 or 3 different positions, it's very hard for a player, in my opinion, and at least for experience speaking, to shine and to excel at a position if every single game you basically have to have a coin toss whether you're going to play as number 9 or you're going to play right wing or left wing. That is never helping the player's case. Genuinely never helping the player's case. Chelsea just scored a goal, but disallowed almost the exact same foul as Joelinton and Gabriel, and it was given this time. Phenomenal. Nothing new, nothing new. Premier League referees are shit, useless, pathetic, and embarrassing. There is no consistency, and it's never going to change. Phenomenal. But it is what it is. I don't care about Chelsea and Brighton at the moment. Whether he's tempted to rush back Bukayo Saka, I don't know. That already tells you everything you need to know, isn't it? We have a long-term injury, so what is faster? In a 10-day injury, 3 days is a lot because it's 30%, but in 3 months, a week is probably not that much. Well, no shit, Sherlock. It's basically 3/10, 3 days in 10 days, compared to 1 in 12, 1 in 9. Well, no shit, Sherlock. It's too early. He's in early stage of the rehab, so he's not coming back this season. Let's just say it as it is. Bukayo Saka is not coming back this season, and end this discussion, because this question is gonna get asked about the Bukayo Saka every single press conference until the end of the season or until he comes back. Ultimately, let's be real. Just say he's not gonna come back this season, and that will be the end of it. Just come on, grow some balls for once. And he has no setback currently. He is fine. Well, that is good, because there were some rumors that he might suffer the setback. On if Ben White could be involved against Leicester. Yes, Ben has been training more regularly, so now we have to manage his load a lot, but he's going to be available. That is good. That is good. That is genuinely good. For fuck's sake. He's not coming back mid-March, and you chill. Brighton are winning? Brighton are winning, right? 1-0, 2-1? 2-0. Holy crap. Brighton are absolutely demolishing Chelsea. For now, at least. The thing is, though, Chelsea actually could still come back, although Chelsea are falling quite rapidly. Mintze scored from Danny Welbeck, and Mitoma scored from Verbruggen's assist. That is kind of nuts. Madueke got injured quite early. Sancho came on, so... time will tell, we will see. Anyway, swiftly moving on. On Everton using photo of him scoring against Liverpool on their program cover. It's probably because it was the last time Everton beat Liverpool at Goodison, so good memories. I look young. It's not, is it though? Wait. I swear Everton beat Liverpool last year at Goodison. I swear. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, last year, April 24th. Everton beat Liverpool 2-0 at the Goodison Park. What on earth is he waffling about? What on earth he's waffling about? And nobody challenged him on that question. Holy crap, nobody challenged him on this answer. It's probably because it was the last time Everton beat Liverpool at Goodison. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. Huh. He lies in interviews and nobody calls this shit out. That is actually kind of wild. Nobody cares about this. Or whether that goal proves the answer to our shortage. On Liverpool dropping points, the same gap, a bit smaller than you expected, was always really blah blah blah. Win games, that's what counts at the moment. That's what counts. Everton defeated Liverpool and we barely could draw with them this season. Yeah, that is the case, yeah. Yeah, that game against Liverpool, even yesterday, that was a nut. On Wednesday, sorry, was a nuts one. I'm not gonna lie. That Goodison Park game, the late winner goal to draw the game from Tarkowski, if I'm not mistaken, it was quite nuts. On maintaining our pressing up front, this had to be good. We will have moments in relation to the opposition qualities and the intentions they have, and our ability will hopefully be better and better in the next few weeks. As for now, we always adapt to the qualities of the players. Well, keep waffling. On facing Leicester away this weekend. Finally, a question about the Leicester game. Oh my goodness gracious. Took about 50 years. Very difficult. At home against top opponents, they make life very difficult. I know Ruud, and the story of course, very well on how he sets up his team. So if you know very well how he sets up his teams, so you should be we should be beating them like 6-0, no? If you know how he sets up them, you should know how to exploit the weaknesses of how he sets them up. They're very, very much alive and a threat. On what has caused a number of injuries this season? You cannot prove it, so the evidence we can provide is very limited in many aspects, and in every case is very different. Obviously, some of them we know are based on load and minutes. That's inevitable. Well, that's your fault, let's be real. We have players who have been injured and who have played 130 games in the last 2 seasons. Again, that is your fault, nobody else's. So in the end, it's an accident waiting to happen. It's not an accident, that's an intentional crash you have caused in that regard. Happen if you continue to load and load. But that's on you. You haven't signed proper backups, and we have to play Saka. And you play Saka when we are 3-0 against Preston, when we are 5-0 up against Lons, and all those games when we are beating teams 5-3, 4-0, and you still keep Bukayo Saka playing, or you sub on Bukayo Saka, for example. That is all on you. That is all on you. Proof is in the pudding. Is this the season? Is this the accumulation of that? Is the stress that is luck? Is preparation? Is it pathology? There's a lot of factors, and it's very difficult to point at something. But the schedule is super demanding, and for certain players, especially explosive players, it becomes a real issue. Like, this is such pure waffle, this whole thing. Because predominantly we get muscular injuries, we get hamstring injuries. We've had about 6-7 surgeries over the last 4 years at Arsenal. Predominantly muscle hamstring injuries. Even who was it? Rio Ferdinand, when he was training for England at the Stadium, at Colney and everything before the game, Soborealci, as it's now, he said that the pitch they were training on and warming up is very hard. So there are rumors that our training pitch is very, very hard and everything. So it must be true, because there is no explanation, logical explanation to some extent, that consistently we get muscular injuries, and that's due to players being overplayed and due to the fact that we have very hard training around. There are no excuses, it's all on them. Plus, it comes together with the fact that we don't have proper rotation. We don't have players to rotate. And then who is at fault? Mikel Arteta is at fault, because he has spun down the wind 800 million with signing about 50 million defenders and no attackers. And now we have no rotation, we have no abilities to rotate. We have to basically, the drop off from the starting 11 to the next closest thing as a substitute is like it's like the gap between Earth and the Moon. And we pay the price at the end of the day. That is all on him, let's be real. That is all on Mikel Arteta. Exactly, no excuses. No excuses. We have to beat Leicester and West Ham. We have to beat every single team we come up against, because our schedule is hella rough. Let's be real, Arsenal's schedule is not that easy, because we play Leicester away, then we play West Ham at home, and then we play Nottingham Forest away. Then we have international break, United away, Chelsea at home, Fulham at home, after international break. So all of these games will be hell on earth for us. Hell on earth. It's gonna be nuts. It generally gonna be nuts. It's gonna be genuinely insane. Every single game is a must win, if we ultimately. It's not just Leicester and West Ham, it's every single game. On how Mikel reacts on seeing injuries. A big pain in the tummy. Well, I'm skipping that. That word already pisses me off. On whether he would have signed somebody knowing that he knows now. No. Fuck me. Genuinely. You cannot make this up. On whether Arteta would have signed somebody knowing what he knows now. The fact that Martinelli is injured, that Havertz is injured, Jesus is out for the rest of the year and everything. No. But we are always put in a situation where we were an injury or two away from a risky situation. But we were always put in that situation. You have put us in this situation, you fucking Spanish dumbass. You have put us in this situation, nobody else. Don't try to bullshit this. Don't try to beat around the bush. It's your fault that our squad is this small. It's your fault that we have such small resources in terms of players. It's your fault that we cannot rotate. It's all on you. Let's be real. It is all on you. And the fact that you're saying on the question that whether he would sign a player in January, knowing what he knows now with the injuries, he still says no, that is genuinely stubbornness, idiocy, and pride to the ultimate level that it's basically stuck in his head to the worst level. That is pathetic, embarrassing, and alone that should be a sackable offense. Get this bum out of the team. Get this bum out of the team right now. That is just inexcusable. Inexcusable. Whether he will limit his ambitions this season, if I do that, I prefer to go home. Then go home, resign, go home, go back to Spain. Go back, go, just go, right now, go. On the mood in the camp, on whether he saw the impact on the players, direction is what else we have to do. On how Kai got injured. Oh, this would be good. He was going to stop a shot after a set piece, then he stretched the leg and felt his hamstring. Set piece FC. Hey? Getting injured even from set pieces now. It's bad enough that we haven't scored a set piece in what feels like a decade. We now get injured from set pieces as well. Just embarrassing. Fuck me. On whether he will change the approach given the different profile of his forwards now. We have to. Well, that's at least he admits that he has to change tactics or something, or system. There are certain things that we are going to have to adapt, and again, it brings the other opportunities as well. We are going to have different front line of players that are very unpredictable. So good in 1v1, very creative, very sharp, and it's going to give different headaches to the opposition. At least he admits that. At least he admits that he will have to adjust the system, adjust the tactics, and we have different type of players currently up front. Well, one is useless, you haven't seen the best of me. One is a teenager who's 17 years old, and one guy is basically hot or cold. There's no in between in Trossard. He has 2 good games, and then for the rest 8 of them, in 10 games, he falls from the face of the earth. So it is what it is. Whether the intensity of modern football increases the chance of injuries. It does and it doesn't. Let's just put it that way. Whether he will bring in a free agent. Oh, someone asks actually a proper question. We will explore every possible situation and make a decision from there. So basically that means we are not signing a free agent. Isn't it? Whether he will bring in a free agent, we will explore every possible situation and make a decision from there. That genuinely sounds like what he says before every single goddamn transfer window. When inevitably he signs dross players, or like in January, he signed no one. That's basically the same BS he says. Basically, if this was January transfer window, or just before, he would have said this. We're gonna look at the best options in the market. We have to wait for an opportunistic moment and then decide whether to act on it or not. That's what he would have said before the January transfer window. Since it's closed and we are talking about free agents, he says, we will explore every possible situation. That's the opportunistic moment, and then we will make decision from there. We're gonna decide whether we're gonna react on it or not. That's the same thing, just with different words. It's like ChatGPT. You put in a statement and you say to ChatGPT, write me this sentence with the same thought, just in 10 different ways. It gives you the answers, and you basically pick one you like the best, or you pick between 3 and you basically Frankenstein it together. That's what this answer is. That's what this answer is regarding free agents compared to transfers. That's what it basically is. Nothing else. Nothing else. Whether he wants the Premier League rules changed to get Max Dauman involved. We had Max, we had many other kids, nobody cares. Dude, if our season depends on a 15-year-old, we might as well shut this club down. Let's just put it that way. Whether he will keep senior players on the bench so there is experience there, that's a good point. That's a good point, dude. Fuck me. Dude. Anyways, let's see what you're saying, chat, before we move a bit on. Yeah, exactly. That's the biggest thing for Arsenal, in my opinion. Regarding the striker situation, it's the thing. As soon as we sign a striker, Arteta, Top Gunners, and Cronkies have nowhere to hide because they have gone the final piece of the jigsaw. If Arteta cannot get it over the line, then with a proper striker, he has to go. They will not have the shield anymore, Cronkies. They will have to sign another manager. And do you think that every manager will be someone who's gonna brown nose Cronkies like Arteta is doing right now, like Wenger did back in the day? No, they won't. Conte will, for example, Conte would call everyone out. Jose would call everyone out. Let's be real. And that is the biggest thing. If we, as soon as we sign a striker, like a proper one, Osimhen, Gyökeres, Isak, players like that, there is no place to hide for Arteta anymore. For Top Gunners, no excuses. For Kroenke, no place to hide. Because if we sign a striker and Arteta falls short, it just shows that he cannot do it. And he genuinely has to go. But they don't want that. Because 15 million a year Arteta gets to protect Kroenke rather than do other things. Mostly. Let's be real. So, it is what it is. But Leicester and West Ham are two vital games. To be honest, Leicester and West Ham are two vital games. And I would say Nottingham Forest away afterwards is a more vital game. Because, let's not forget, we are in Premier League. We are in Premier League 3 points ahead of Nottingham Forest. If we lose this game against Forest, we actually could finish behind Forest at the end of the season. Let's look at it that way as well. There is very, very big issues happening in that regard. There will be lots of riding on that game. More than maybe other people want to admit. Let's just put it that way. He could play, but he won't, because they have to appeal it, they have to put in a notice and everything. Arteta is stubborn. Yes, he is. Put Newcastle and that little punk Gordon in his place. Arteta fangirls will say Arteta is the best coach, he's our savior, and we don't want gun. Typically Arsenal care. Yeah, exactly. Damn Arteta. Can you big up Mob? Can you bring in a free agent? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can sign a free agent and you can put him in your team. Because free agent rules in Premier League. Free agents in Premier League can be signed at... Wait, here we go. Let's just put it this way. Stop this. They're in Premier League. Blah, 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 blah. Here we go. Free agents can be signed at any time, but can only be registered if there's space in the squad list. Since we have 22 players, we have 3 open spaces to sign free agents. So if you already got 25 players registered, sorry, those free agents will have to wait until the next registration window. Yes, that's January. Same thing goes for releasing players. You can release them at any time, but whether or not they'll be able to go and join another club immediately depends on the rules of that league that is concerned. And currently, we actually can sign them. Let's just put it that way. We actually can sign them. Let's just say it as it is. We can sign them at the moment. Do you remember when Arteta was smirking when it came to us not getting a striker? Yeah. Yep, he was smirking, he was grinning and everything. Just like Saliba was smirking and grinning and said, when that guy, the fan in Dubai, gave Saliba to sign his shirt for him. He said, please don't go to Madrid. He was pleading for Saliba to stay at Arsenal. And Saliba just looked at him and just laughed like, you know, I think Saliba partially like already is in Madrid, let's be real. Bro thinks he's alright and shit and all that. Time's running out. Yeah, time, to be honest, to some extent, the time has already run out for Arteta, in my opinion. Fully ran out. I want your opinion on Chelsea Disalgo. I'm not watching the game, I'm live streaming. I know I have screen in screen, I can watch the game on other monitor, but I'm not watching because it would be distracting, I'm not gonna lie. To talk and it would be hella distracting. Yeah, Gabriel Magalhaes should be the captain. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0 Brighton halftime at the moment. 2-0 Brighton at halftime. That's the case. And that's the biggest thing. We drew against Brighton twice. One with 10 men, one on other case. And that's basically what Arsenal does. Oh, we have the best record against top 6. We haven't lost to them in like gazillion years. Cool, what a trophy for Arsenal. Top 6 games were not even an issue under Arsene Wenger. Yes, we get panned here or there, but ultimately they were not an issue. The issue were the smaller teams, because we always lose the points against the smaller teams. It was under Wenger when we got top 4, and now when we are going for a title, it's still the same thing. It's under Arteta, the same issue. We lose points to the small teams, which ultimately ends up costing us something. Cost us Champions League 4 years ago, cost us title pretty much 3 years ago, cost us title last year, cost us title 2 years ago, this year as well. Ultimately, what's gonna cost us is then Arteta's dumbass, Arteta being an idiot, stubborn, not signing the right players, us not spending any money and doing the things that need to be done, and the fact that we cannot consistently gain points against the smaller sides. That's what basically is killing our season every single year, ultimately at the end of the day. Because for me personally, let's be real, you cannot win a season in 24 games. I know I'm saying the title race is over, Arsenal are not winning the league, and now I'm saying that you cannot win a league in 24 games. But you can easily lose a league in 24 games. And in my opinion, Arsenal have done that. That's the case. That's the way I see it. Yeah, Arteta is pecking. Oh. Yeah, Arteta pecking for the Kroenkes. It's nuts. Let's just put it that way. On whether he gets Sterling going now, he's been much more involved recently as well on his merit, and he's earned the right to do so. How about before? Before he didn't do any of these things, right? Like, why now? Why exactly now? On women's team playing Spurs this weekend, well, what a Leicester game for Arsenal. There we go. Build your own starting 11. We're gonna go, well, knowing Arteta and his dumbassery, it's gonna be a 4-3-3. Now let me fix this so it's basically as it should be. It should be like this. Starting 11. Arsenal versus Leicester. We have issues with the squad. Leicester obviously have too, but not to the same extent, let's be real. A must-win game, no matter how you look at it for Arsenal. It will be hell of a challenge for Arsenal, I'm gonna admit that. It's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be physical, it's gonna be compact, and Arsenal will have to do something unique to score a goal. I think it's not gonna be that easy, even from set pieces. We haven't scored a set piece as well, it feels like a decade. So, it's gonna be rough. Arsenal have done pretty damn good recently against Leicester City. Like, if we look at the overall record, right? Arsenal versus Leicester 11. Arsenal overall have done very decently against Leicester. Let's just put it that way. Because if you look at this, Arsenal have, in the last, six games, in the last 6 games, Arsenal have gotten 6 wins. We have lost them on occasion here or there, ultimately. The 19th season, that was shambles under Emery and everything. We lost against Emery. But overall, we have beaten them most of the time. We overall have a very good record against Leicester. And the year Leicester won the league, we were the only team in Premier League who managed to beat Leicester City home and away. Right? So Arsenal against Leicester tend to do very darn good. Let's just put it that way. They tend to do pretty darn well. But currently, given our current situation, it's a bit of a rough one, I'm not gonna lie. So, what we're gonna do? We're gonna put David Raya in goal. Let's be real. David Raya is going in the goal. No questions asked. Defensive line, it has to be Timber because I think it's too early for White to start. Saliba, Gabriel, and well, I'm gonna put Skelly there. Miles Lewis Skelly. Midfield, most likely it's gonna be the same old predictable midfield. We all know how Arteta goes and does things, let's be real. That would be the starting 8. Attack is the one where it gets interesting. Let's just put it that way because we need to do some things. Now, Wanyeri is gonna play right wing. Let's it is as it is. the question is, who is gonna play right wing and who is gonna play as a number 9? Let's just put it that way. Because the obvious option, let's just put it that way, the obvious option would be Raheem Sterling on the left and Trossard down the middle. That would be the obvious option because Arteta has done it before. That would be genuinely the obvious option. Otherwise, I'm not sure what would happen because I know Kwame, right? Kwame's put this out during when we just did the stream earlier on the stream. He put out the starting 11 and it looked like this. This was Kwame's starting 11 before in the beginning of the stream before we talked about this, right? Before this point, we have pretty much the same 11. That just instead Trossard plays left wing and he is putting Calafiori as a striker, as a number 9. Which is kind of weird, it sounds weird, but hey, it is what it is. Nathan wants Zinchenko as a number 9. He has played there for Pep, let's be real, and everything. So the big question is, would that work? Would that genuinely work? That for me is the big question mark. Could that work? Skelly left back, White right center back, Big Gabby at left right, Timber, Marino, Silence, Dean. Okay, Marlon, calm down. Imagine we have a counter and Marino is sprinting as the 9. Dude. Oh, that would be insane. Genuinely, that would be insane. The thing is though, based on how we play, our number 9 doesn't have to be super fast, as weird as it sounds. Because Havertz is deceptively fast. Let's just put it as. Let's just say it as it is. Havertz is deceptively fast. Jesus is not the quickest anymore after meshing up his knees, both of them countless times. Our number 9s haven't been that fast. And Merino as a number 9, if he starts the run properly, actually to some extent on a counter actually would not be the worst. Especially if it's between the lines while the defender turns around, he actually could get in behind. That is something I can see as well. Knowing Arteta though, I think he's gonna play it safe. That for me is the big thing. I think Arteta is gonna play it safe. Arteta is gonna play it safe for the first game and see what happens. That's how I feel because Arteta is very pragmatic and he's very predictable. And that could be the biggest downfall of him. At the same time, it could be the best thing he can do. That number 9 spot and left wing is a big mystery to me. Because he rightly so can play, let's just say, Trossard on the left and Oyedeji as a number 9. Kenyon Martin as a number 9. Obviously, internal talks have been about Merino as a number 9. Zinchenko has played number 9 under Pep Guardiola. Calafiori has played number 9 in his earlier career as a youth player. So there are options to some extent. So it is what it is. Trust me, I know it's Marlon. Nobody waffles like you. Zinchenko is literally an attacker mid. Yeah, he is like a number 10 more than anything. Let's be real. He will actually be good when he doesn't have to defend. Like, to be honest, depends. Tierney left wing. Fuck me. We say all these, like, for me personally, right? I think that Tierney is gonna come on as a left wing substitute around 65th, 70th minute, potentially. I can see that happening. Genuinely can see that happening. I strongly believe that for the first game, Arteta is gonna play it safe. He's gonna play it safe. That's how I feel. And the next game we play West Ham at home, which will be much tougher to us than obviously Leicester away to some extent because they have a better squad, although it's going to be at home, so it should give us some sort of advantage. But yeah, I think he's going to sub on Tierney as a sub. He's going to sub on as well Calafiori as a sub. I kind of get the feeling. There will be another sub. I think Zinchenko might be a sub for the number 9. Or Butler Oyedeji could come on as a sub. I can see that happening. I can see Oyedeji getting played as a sub. somehow. Oyedeji has never kicked a ball for Arsenal's main squad, by the way. So that is kind of nuts that he is sitting on the bench and not playing whatsoever. For Arsenal's second team in youth, in under 20s Premier League 2, he's doing actually very well, let's be real. So time will only tell, but I think Arteta for the first game, just to be safe, he's gonna play what he knows. And arguably to some extent, this is what he knows. This is what he knows. So I think that could be the case. I think that will be the starting 11. Now, for the game in general, for the result, I'm going... Oh, fuck. Score prediction for the game. I really hope I'm wrong. I really hope I am wrong saying this in a positive way. I'm going 2-2 draw. I'm going 2-2 draw. I really hope it's wrong, but I'm going 2-2 draw. I'm going 2-2 draw. So Marlon is saying 3-2, 3-0 Arsenal or 3-2 Arsenal. Nathan thinks Ranieri is gonna score. Big up Charlie and goodbye Charlie. Ethan, I can see Ethan scoring. I can see Ethan scoring 100%. But I'm going 2-2 draw. I'm genuinely going 2-2 draw. I don't know why. In my right mind, I would love for me to predict a 3-1 win. But I don't know. There's something that just screams to me that we actually might be screwed up a bit. The attack is a big issue. I'm going 2-2. I'm going 2-2. To be honest, this makes a lot of sense. Arteta has done it before. Arsenal's team are not good at parking the bus. Let's just put it that way. They are not good. This season at least. Last year they were good. This season they're not good. They still have gaps and massive holes when they park the bus. But this could be the case. We score a goal and we park the bus. That could be the case. That genuinely could be the case. This year, although we struggle parking the bus, we have seen this happen countless times, especially in the early stages of the season. Last year, we actually could have done that. We did that as well at times. So it will be very interesting. I think if Arsenal score a quick goal, even in the first half, we go in the halftime break 1-0. I think Arsenal will park the bus and then try hit them on counters. Maybe make it 2-0, and then they're definitely gonna park the bus, truck their own grandma and everything. But I'm going 2-2 Arsenal for tomorrow. See how this goes. Big up Charlie. I like to see us play 5-3-2 so that we can have an attacker option off the bench and less risk an injury as opposed to playing only 3 attackers. That is the thing, and I fully agree with this. Big up to you. We talked about this in the beginning of the stream, right? We talked about this in the beginning of the stream that Arteta should change the system. Given the injuries and given the personnel we have available, playing 5 at the back would actually be the perfect solution. You realize that 3-5-2 is the same thing as 5-3-2, right? It's just the wing backs, either you count them as a midfielders or defenders. The same thing, basically. I think 5-3-2, playing like, for example, center backs. I would personally try maybe Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba as center backs, Timber and Kieran Tierney as wing backs potentially, or Skelly as a left back. I don't know, but Tierney could be better with the crosses he makes. The midfield of the 3 players obviously would be Rice, Odegaard, Partey, and the 2 attackers most likely would be Ranieri and Trossard, most likely. And then we could do the overlapping runs, the triangle in between runs and everything. Would that happen? Don't think so. And it's a massive shame in my opinion, because we played 5 at the back that's the year when Arteta just joined, took over in December 19th, and we won the FA Cup. That was the formation we played, 5 at the back or 3 at the back, depends how you look at it, right? We played that and we beat Chelsea, we beat Man City, and we beat Chelsea in the final, Man City in the semi-finals, Kieran Tierney overlapping, lobbing the balls over Kyle Walker's back for Aubameyang to run in behind, worked like a charm. Aubameyang basically handed that cup to Arteta on silver platter, let's be real. But overall, that actually could have worked. That actually would have been quite fantastic. And I think the personnel we have, in general, overall, if you exclude injuries, right, if you forget about them, our team is built to attack. Saka to attack, Martinelli to attack. Our team is built to attack, not control the shit, defend and everything. We saw that 2.5 years ago. But given this current situations, right? Given the current situations, 5 at the back could be the right solution. That is the case. And like, time will tell. That only time will tell. So we'll see how this goes. But I'm going for 2-2. I'm going for 2-2. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm going for 2-2. Let's just put it that way. Let's just put it that way. Kwame, you do realize that Amiya is what's its face? It's Marlon, right? He has multiple accounts. Amiya is Marlon, right? But yeah, I'm going 2-2. I hope I'm wrong and we win, obviously. But the attack issues, the injuries, the lack of rotation we will have in the squad, and I expect Leicester to play very energetic and physical football against us to try and tire us out, knowing the fact that we don't have actually quality replacements. That thought kind of puts everything into perspective and gives me some doubts. Let's just put it that way. So I think Arsenal will be 2-2. I hope I am wrong and we win, obviously. But time only will tell. Early kickoff as well. We don't tend to do well in early kickoffs as well, usually. So that is another thing that will be very interesting to see. And it's an away game, not a home game. Like, it's gonna be interesting. Let's just put it that way. It's gonna kick off the whole weekend of football in Premier League, especially. So, let's see. Big up everyone. Big up Ania. Big up Marlon. Big up Kwame, big up Charlie, big up Nathan, big up everyone. I think on this note, I'm gonna end today's stream. If you haven't already, smash the thumbs up, like the thing, caress it, kick it, whatever. Just do it. Takes a second, costs nothing, helps the stream. Subscribe if you're new around here. Leave your thoughts down in comments below. Take care, enjoy football, and see you all tomorrow, 8 p.m. UK time for Leicester City review, in hopes that we have won. Obviously, I'm saying 2-2, but I hope that we win still to some extent. And I hope we can avoid some more injuries, I guess.